my favorite fragrances for men's style. If you want to be really well put together, you want to smell good, masculine, yet classy, I have a small list of fragrances here that will match that certain style. And as always, all the fragrances that I mentioned will be available in the Amazon associate links down in the description below. I'm going to start with one that I think is just classic. It's a go-to option. You don't have to think about it. It's always going to be good. Dior Homme Original, or any Dior Homme, to be honest. But the original is one of my favorites, as is Eau for Men. Both very good options. Refreshing, masculine, has really good longevity, despite its general kind of light and freshness. Has a very particular iris note, which I really enjoy. Has a certain cleanliness to it. Whenever I smell Dior Homme like this, there's just something very kind of business about it, like a man in a suit sort of thing, or just something very clean and crisp and natural. Very attractive fragrance overall. Again, pretty good longevity for this type of lighter fragrance. I will say also Dior Homme Intense, which is the heavier version. That's also a really nice option. Pretty much any Dior Homme, really. But again, like this type of Dior Homme or the Eau de Toilette, really good for basically, you could wear it all the time. Formal, casual, daytime, nighttime, hot weather, cold weather. Again, versatile enough to do just about everything. And relatively affordable. It's under $100. I believe it's about $90. And, it lasts for a long time. Longer than you would expect. But again, this is one of those fragrances that you don't have to think about. You know it's going to be good. Other people are going to like it on you. Kind of just like a fail-safe option if you don't know what to get. But then, maybe you're more invested into kind of the world of fragrances already. Maybe you want something a little more intense, more high-class. Layton from Parfum de Mali. Really good option if you want something very unique smelling. I always say this is a great winter to autumn type of fragrance because it's pretty warm. It's a spicy, sweet fragrance. I really enjoy it. Some people aren't a big fan of the sweetness. I don't think it's that sweet. When I think of like serious sweetness, I think of 1 Million from Paco Rabanne, which is too much. This is more balanced. Especially since it's mixed with that spiciness that it has, that cardamom sort of exotic spice to it. Really good longevity, mainly because it's a heavier type of fragrance. Longevity, I would say 8 to 9 hours, probably for most people. Again, this is a very high-class fragrance. It is more expensive because of that, but it lasts a very long time. This bottle will last you ages because you don't need to put on that much to get the desired effect. Really good projection. People can easily smell you when you wear this. And it just has that obvious elegance, that obvious sophistication and luxury to it. Of course, being from Parfum de Mali, which is known for, creating very luxurious types of fragrances. So, again, very good option if you want something top shelf, very elegant, that sort of thing. Now, another option here, if you want to go really heavy, then I would say from Siège Lutin, you can go for Ambre Sultan, which is Amber Sultan. This is not for the weak of heart. This is if you want something really heavy, really intense. This is primarily a resin, amber, balsamic type of scent. It has several types of resins, amber, myrrh, things like that. So there's no sweetness. It's pretty just straight on the resins, which kind of gives it an incensey smell to it. It's not really smoky, but it's like related to that smell. Frankincense as well, kind of related to that. So more exotic. And very intense, very heavy. Again, not for everyone, but if you are looking for something really bold, really intense, really strong, this is a good option. Pretty good longevity, 7 to 8 hours. And it is just pretty unique because very few fragrances dare to do what Ambre Sultan does, which is just go full on for those resins and not much else. But it is definitely a very intriguing fragrance. Whenever, smelling this on someone, you would be intrigued. Then, moving on to one of my favorites to smell on men, actually. This is Creed Green Irish Tweed. This is a classic, of course, from the 80s. This is primarily a lighter type of men's fragrance, more refreshing, more crisp and clean. Has some notes of lemon verbena, violet. There's also some muskier notes like ambergris thrown in there. In general, very, very attractive, refreshing, sophisticated type of fragrance. Now, this is surprisingly long-lasting despite being on the lighter side. Longevity is probably around 6 to 7 hours for most people, which is pretty good. It's average, but pretty good for this type of fragrance. And it's being from Creed, it is extremely high quality. It's kind of like anything from Parfum de Mali, or it's bound to be good. They put that extra conviction, something extra into it to make it extremely luxurious, sophisticated, and I like the crispness that it has. It's natural, it's not synthetic smelling, kind of like you're walking through a fresh garden or something. Just a very pleasant type of smell. I haven't come across anyone who dislikes Green Irish Tweed, because again, it just smells very natural and very clean. Now, the last one that I have is for those who like tobacco notes. This is Tobacco Color from Dior. This is, in my opinion, one of the best tobacco fragrances on the market. Now, it is unisex, but I would say it's more masculine leaning. Very smooth, smoky tobacco note in there. Nothing too crazy, nothing too harsh. You're not going to smell like, stale cigarette smoke. This is actually good. Kind of has that smoky, mysterious vibe to it, which I think is really cool. And again, it's more of just a warm, cozy smokiness, and not just like an old smoke type of note. And it lasts a pretty long time. I would say 8 hours about for most people, maybe even 9 in some cases. Generally more of a cold weather fragrance or an evening fragrance. It would be a little bit hard to pull this off in the middle of summer, in the middle of the day. That's not exactly what it's for. But super luxurious. This is part of Dior's kind of upper line of its fragrances, but super attractive on all accounts for Tobacco Color. But that is my list for kind of fragrances for men's style here. So if you found this video helpful, of course you can leave a like, maybe subscribe, and I make videos throughout the week, so stick around for those.